This was literally the most filler episode of Monday Night Raw I've watched in a while. Literally nothing happened on this show. Nothing happened this week. This week was straight filler, I swear. It was boring. Not terrible, but boring. It felt like nothing happened on this show. And by the time it ended, I'm like, dude, what did I even watch? What did I even see? Like, I didn't even remember half of it. That's how bland and, like, soulless this episode felt. We got only 4 matches on this show. 4 matches. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 matches on a 2-hour and 30-minute long show. 4 matches. That's insane. We got more ads, backstage segments, and video packages than matches. Let that settle in real quick. We got more ads, backstage segments, and video packages than matches on this show. That was insane. This show was straight filler, man. Like, we came from a amazing episode of SmackDown last week to this. This is like your go-home Raw episode for Night of Champions. That's crazy, man. Anyhow, though, let's just get into what happened on this week of Raw. So first off, we started with an in-ring promo from Seth Rollins, his new group, Seth and Friends. I don't know what the name of the group is, honestly, so I'm just going to start calling them Seth and Friends, because at this point, I don't even think they're going to come out with a group name. Anyway, though, Seth gets on the mic. Seth says that the crowd has no idea what they want, so he doesn't care what the crowd want, and he doesn't care what the fans want. Seth Rollins then proceeds to say that the fans need people like them to tell them what's good for them, to tell them what needs to happen, to tell them what they need to hear. Seth Rollins says that everything the fans want is because of him. Seth Rollins says that Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, exists because of Seth Rollins. CM Punk came back because of Seth Rollins. Cody Rhodes was put on the map because of Seth Rollins. Everything the fans want, it's because of Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins says that he is the past, present, and the future of this company. Seth Rollins proceeds to say that LA Knight stuck his nose where it didn't belong, so LA Knight got taken care of and he got taken out. Seth says that the same thing will happen to Penta tonight because Penta was supposed to face off against Bron Breaker. And let me tell you, this promo was mid. This was one of the most empty and meaningless promos I've ever heard from Seth in recent memory. This promo meant nothing. It progressed nothing. Seth said nothing. Like, this was a terrible opener for Raw. Like, normally when you open with Seth, it's like, it's pretty good. It's heat. It's pretty entertaining. This was just boring, bland, dull. Man, this was such a bad opener for Raw. Anyhow, though, after this, we got into our first match of the night. It was Bron Breaker versus Penta. Some highlights from this match were that Penta hit a springboard crossbody. Bron Breaker hit a super high-speed clothesline, so he hit the ropes like 3 times back-to-back in order to hit like a solid clothesline. It looked pretty good. Penta hit a super Rana. Penta hit an over-the-top rope front flip dive. Bron Breaker dropped Penta rib first onto the top of the ring post, which looked pretty gnarly. It looked pretty gruesome. It looked pretty, impactful. Breaker hit his signature apron clothesline dive onto Penta. Penta hit a Mexican destroyer, and Bron Breaker hit Penta with a mid-air catching spear for the win. And throughout this whole match, the only thing I was thinking was that, man, like, back in the day before Breaker joined this group, he would have had Penta pinned and dealt with in like a matter of seconds and a matter of minutes, like 2-3 minutes at most, he would have had Penta pinned. Because I remember before Bron Breaker joined Seth Rollins' group, like, he was a powerhouse. He was dangerous. And like, I'm like, dude, this new group with Seth Rollins, every member involved looks weak now. They look boring, they look dull, and they look stupid. They look goofy. Like, this new group is not benefiting anyone. No one in it is getting progressed. Nobody's becoming a star. Nobody's shining. This group is like, man, like, this group needs to be disbanded at this point. It's not entertaining. It's not advancing anything, any stories, any careers, any superstars, nothing. Nothing's getting advanced from this group. Like, I don't even know why it's around, dude. Like, Bron Breaker would have been a bigger star by himself had he stayed a solo star and not gotten into the group. Bronson Reed would have came back with a huge pop, and he would have been like portrayed as a monster if he didn't join this group. Now they just like boring lackeys, boring henchmen, personalities, stupid, just like, I don't even know. They look dull, boring, and weak. Because I'm like, these men, imagine how long it took Bron Breaker to beat Penta this week. Like, I'm telling you, like 2-3 weeks ago, 2 months ago, before he joined this group, he would have had Penta pinned in like a minute at most. And then look what happened last week on Friday Night SmackDown. You're telling me it took Bronson Reed how long to beat LA Knight? Come on, man. The monster, Bronson Reed, big Bronson Reed, the one who took out Braun Strowman. Like, you tell me it took him like 15 almost 20 minutes to beat LA Knight? That's not crazy. And it had to end by DQ at that. I'm like, this group is making all the stars look weak and stupid. And even Paul Heyman, like, Paul Heyman's not even talking anymore. Paul Heyman is just there to be there. I'm like, man, this group needs to be disbanded. They need to scratch this off the chalkboard, man, and just call it a day. Anyways, though, after this, it was announced that Liv Morgan will be out for several months, sadly, due to the injuries she suffered last week. which I hope she gets well soon. I hope she gets better, and I hope she's able to make a full return sooner rather than later. And it's also announced that the Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship match is canceled for some reason. I don't know if this is like a story aspect or is it for real. I was not too sure. I wasn't listening too much, but I think it might be for real or maybe not. I don't know. They said Dominic had a valid excuse or whatever, so I don't know what that's leading to. Maybe it's part of a story, maybe it's not. I don't know. Anyhow, though, after this, we got an exclusive interview segment from Goldberg. So 50-year-old Goldberg says that Gunther disrespected him and his family, and he can't let that slide. He says that Gunther embarrassed him in front of the fans and in front of his family, and he wants his get back. He wants his payback, and he's gonna make Gunther pay for what he did. Also, did I mention that Goldberg is 58? Yeah, because Goldberg is 58. I don't know why he's still wrestling, dude. Like, this man needs to retire, and I'm glad this is his last match. Honest to God. I hope he doesn't have a stroke or a heart attack in the ring, because I'm scared that's what might actually happen. Anyhow, though, then we got to our Queen of the Ring semifinals match. It was Jade Cargill versus Roxanne Perez. So, some highlights from this match were Roxanne Perez used the steel stairs to take out Jade Cargill's legs. Perez hit a double jumping springboard moonsault onto Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill hit a fall-away slam and a choke slam on Roxanne Perez. Jade Cargill then proceeds to hit the Jaded for the win on Roxanne Perez. And Jade Cargill advances, and it's going to be Asuka versus Jade Cargill for the Queen of the Ring finals. This match was pretty mid, and it was full of botches. I don't know. It looked clunky. That's the best way I could describe it. It looked, I don't know, like put together, rushed or something. There was no chemistry between these two women. It just, something felt off this episode. Something felt off, and just, it felt like something was missing. Anyhow, though, after this match, we got an in-ring promo from Gunther. Gunther said that Goldberg is the most destructive superstar of his generation, but it's not 1980 anymore, and Gunther is the best star now, and he says that he will not lose to a one-trick pony. He vows that he will not lose to a one-trick pony in Goldberg, and he proceeds to apologize to Goldberg's wife and Goldberg's kid. He then proceeds to apologize to Goldberg's wife and Gage, Goldberg's son, for what he's gonna do to Goldberg. He says he will make sure the legacy and the myth of Bill Goldberg dies forever. And this was a pretty good promo from Gunther. It was a pretty solid promo. This is what you normally would expect from Gunther. Not what he's been given every week, but that's what you would expect from him. This was a pretty good promo by Gunther. I enjoyed it. I liked the intensity behind it and how Gunther delivered it. It was a pretty good promo. After this, though, we got on to our Women's Intercontinental Championship match. It was Becky Lynch versus Bayley. Some highlights from this match were Bayley hit a second rope stunner on Becky Lynch. Both women, Bayley and Becky, did this double punch, double clothesline, and double cross body sequence. It looked pretty cool. Bayley hit a sunset moonsault into the turnbuckle on Becky Lynch. She sent Becky flying into the turnbuckle. Becky hit a superplex on Bayley. Bayley hit a manhandle slam on Becky, which was pretty hype. Lyra ended up getting involved in the match, and I don't know why. I'm like, aren't you a babyface? Babyfaces normally don't do this nonsense, but anyhow, though, Lyra got involved in the match. She attacks Becky Lynch, and Becky Lynch wins via DQ, via disqualification. And I must say, this match was pretty mid. It's not Bayley and Becky's best work by a long shot. Like, Bayley and Becky have had better matches in the past. This was not even top 10 of like the matches they've had, you know. This was pretty mid. This was pretty forgettable. I'm like, this was definitely not one of the best Becky versus Bayley matches we've ever gotten. This was pretty mid. This was pretty bad, honestly. Not bad as in terrible, but it was mid. Honestly, that's where I'm gonna leave it at. It was mid. I know Bayley and Becky both of them, they could do a lot better, you know. They can deliver in that ring. It just felt like this match, there was no chemistry, and I don't know, something was just missing. Because I know these women, they were the 4 horsewomen. Like, they had banger matches in the past, and now it's just like, I don't know, just something felt off, something felt missing. This was not their best work. That's all I'm gonna say. After that match, though, we got a in-ring promo segment from Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel Rodriguez calls out Rhea Ripley for attacking her last week, or for costing her Queen of the Ring match. She calls out Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez brawl for a little bit. Roxanne Perez ends up getting involved, and with the help of Roxanne Perez, Raquel Rodriguez hits the Tejana Bomb on Rhea Ripley and sends Rhea Ripley spiraling into a Slim Jim table. And this was a pretty cool segment, I guess. It was pretty nice. pretty entertaining. Then we got to the main event, and I swear this show flew by. That's how much nothing happened. And then it was at this point I started thinking, I'm like, dude, what did I watch? What even happened earlier? I'm like, dude, like this episode felt unimportant. Anyhow, though, we got to the main event. It was Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes, and this was arguably match of the night. It was the best match we got tonight, not the best match we've gotten in a while, just the best match tonight on this filler show. Anyhow, though, it was Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes, and it was a King of the Ring semi-final match. So Jey Uso had his 2 entrances again, and yes, it's still a thing, and it's still annoying, and it's still a waste of time. I hate it. Anyhow, though, some highlights from this match was Jey Uso hit a Samoan drop on Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes used a Kimura lock, which I haven't seen in a while on Raw or SmackDown. It was pretty cool. It's Brock Lesnar's signature, and they even mentioned Brock Lesnar's name too, which I found pretty interesting. Jey Uso used the sleeper hold, Gunther sleeper hold on Cody Rhodes. Cody hit a superplex on Jey Uso. Cody Rhodes hit a springboard Cody cutter. Jey Uso hit a crossroads on Cody, which looked pretty cool. Jey Uso hit a spear on Cody. Cody hit a amazing top rope Cody cutter onto Jey Uso and hit Jey Uso with a crossroads for the win. This was the best match of the night. It was the most entertaining match tonight. It was the best match tonight. It was the match of the night for me. This was a really solid match. And this match kind of bumped up my ratings to what I'm going to give it later. But anyhow, though, before I get to the ratings, it's confirmed that Queen of the Ring finals will be Asuka versus Jade Cargill, and King of the Ring finals will be Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. Those should be 2 solid matches. They should be good. I'm hoping they're good. But anyhow, though, for my rating of this week's episode of Monday Night Raw, I gave it a 4 or 5 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. A generous 5 out of 10. This episode was a 5 out of 10 at best. No higher. Because, like I said, we only got 4 matches. We got more video packages, more ads than matches. That's insane. We only got 4 matches, and only one of the matches were good. Isn't that mind-blowing? Like, you get an episode, a 2 hours and 30 minutes long episode of Raw. 4 matches only, and only 1 good match? That's insane. We get more ads and more video packages and more backstage segments than matches, I mean. Like, that's insane. Anyhow, though, yeah, I'll give this episode a solid 5 out of 10 at best. A generous 5 out of 10. This episode was straight filler. This episode was forgettable. This episode felt unimportant. This episode felt like it was missing something. But anyhow, though, that was my review of this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. Pretty mid, pretty bad. But anyhow, though, thank you for showing up. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hearing me out. Thank you for listening. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to. And like, comment, and subscribe if you choose to. It's been a pleasure. I'm out.